Welcome to the finals, everybody. It's the OlimoLeague. It's the monthly finals for October, and we need to explain something real quick. It's a best of 7, but there's only 5 maps in the map pool. One of the big things about this means that 2 maps will be repeated, and this tournament is loser's pick. So we don't go through repeating maps until we've gone through all 5, should it get to that point. The last 2 monthly finals have been kind of interesting, and True goes out for a very early scout. Now, I don't know if this will be for hatch block shenanigans, but he is the player to go for early scouts in this matchup regardless, so safe than sorry. Spawning in the top left corner of the map, the guy who's just finished describing, coming for the team Dead Pixels, with the worst Twitter abbreviation I've ever seen in my life. It's going to be DPix True. And his opponent, in the bottom right, it's going to be the Blue Protoss, YongHwa. Now, to address some very important concerns in chat, guys, I am not wearing a turtleneck. I just have this collar turned inside out on a regular t-shirt. Not inside out, but like it folds in on itself to be like a normal collar. Anyways, I unfolded it because it's chilly in my room. So I guess it's a temporary turtleneck. I don't know. It's like a team jersey for what team is this? The Raiders or some shit? I don't know. I don't watch sports. But the hatchery block does come down. So I was questioning whether this would happen or not. This can be incredibly frustrating. This can be incredibly annoying. I really wish we had graphs on so I could show you guys, because I've been trying to make this more apparent, because we get a lot of people who seem to not understand how big of a deal this is. Right now, YongHwa, he's mining 200 less minerals, well, almost 300 less minerals a minute than his opponent. He'll be doing this for about 1 minute. This means that the cost of this hatchery to build cancel it is actually worth baiting all these probes to the low ground. The time lost mining is kind of annoying. And True, of course, oh my god, I forgot, it was True versus Stork this happened on, where he'll build cancel over and over and over again. The evolution chamber will be taken down. He'll pull this off yet again, back away somewhere else, and build a hatchery if he can. There's no cannons here, and there really should be. On the other side of the map, he starts a pylon and possibly some shenanigans on his own. We'll see if those cannons come into effect or not. But for True, a lot of the focus in the onus goes on the cannon. He not keep this from completing? Okay, there we go. The sickest cancel at the best time. Still though, missing out on like almost 200 minerals a minute just by sitting down here wasting all this time on this drone. I don't know if YongHwa realizes they did this versus Stork, but hey, you know what? It's same map, same infamy, I guess you could call it. This will get really annoying really quickly. It's actually gonna. Why would you even try proxy hatching anymore? It's not gonna work, man. That drone's gonna die. Oh, actually, it's the Evo chamber block. Really nicely done. Pylons do block out both these bases. True, of course, did take a spawning pool, but the lings are only just now hatching up. So, well, there's no cannons coming down. This is certainly a big nuisance. Actually, you know what? Taking a gas steal like this is not too bad. Pretty much every opener for a Protoss player almost dictates needing 2 gases. You can take 1 and expand, but because you went expand first, you're really hoping to double gas behind it, which means he'll have to take one of the simulators down here. So, he does let this complete. It's annoying. Zealots are going to have to stop and kill this first rather than turning around and going to the other side of the map. But, yeah, this probe. No real potential for cannons. True throws down double hatcheries, and he'll be on 3 bases. Lickety split. In fact, the lings are going to try and catch this before it goes home. As far as YongHwa is concerned, he does have this really nice wall set up. There's a cannon down as well. There's no way there's enough lings coming out to really compose the threat. Even chronoing out a zealot to be ultra safe. He'll fill that wall, and, of course, want to get to work on that extractor quick as possible. Gosh, that's annoying. Best save before he'll just take the simulator down here. So not that big of a deal at the end of the day. Not going to kill him. Lee's actually going to go for the back rocks. Interesting. You'll have vision of this through your natural anyways, so I mean he'll hear this being chipped away at here. So maybe he'll put a pylon down with a cannon, maybe. Mothership core. He might just be waiting on the mothership core. Starts that warp deck right away. Needs that 100 gas. There we go. Mothership core should be on the way, and she should be able to deal with those lings relatively easy. Now, because True got 3 bases up really fast, he's gonna have a lot of larvae to work with. We'll see how this goes. I mean, for the most part, you want to just drone like crazy. If you can get away getting to 70 drones without having to make a single ling, a single roach, more power to you. Queens can certainly hold defenses in the early game, but only to a certain extent. So going to have to do, of course, is constantly scout and constantly gauge what his opponent's doing and know exactly when to cut his drones. It's usually right around like that 40-50 mark where you have to make that decision. Here's the timing, there's a 4-gate on the way. The Overlord backs off for now. They'll come back in for another scout later, of course. And there's the other Overlord here outside the natural base, actually being chased away by the Stalker. Bit of a nuisance. Because it's been brought up yet again, guys. If you haven't seen the Team Liquid thread at this point, the 32 Boys 1 Cup tournament has been delayed. It will not be played out today, sadly, or this month. We wanted to finish the entire tournament in this month originally, but some tournament complications came up and some priorities had to be taken. And on account of players, most importantly, flying to and from both China and Korea within the next week, we decided it best to make sure that players can play in the best playing conditions and give us the best tournament possible. So for November, we have BlizzCon coming up, we got Home Story Cup the weekend after, and then we're going to shoot to try and have our tournament through the round of 8 and the finish after that. So it's still going to be about 2 or 3 days of straight content. The problem is it's just been displaced, and I am fully aware that that definitely takes away from the hype a little bit, but I really hope that after a month's work, you guys don't simply write off that tournament. You will write it through to the end, because there's some pretty good players left in the round of 8. And as far as to answer why Zombie Grub's not here, she had to go. We did not expect this to go so long. Usually the OlimoLeagues tend to wrap up in about 4 hours, but we got a couple of really long mech games that offset things. So she had some schedule stuff she had to do. I don't know what it is, but if I find out it's because she went shopping with her mom, I'm gonna kill her. My mom buys me everything. I'm stopping. You know what? I shouldn't mock her. I'm gonna stop right there. We're friends, not enemies. Okay. But yeah, all these extra queens that were made actually end up being pretty well. 2 queens per base. If there was a Phoenix follow-up to this, like YongHwa typically tends to do, this would have defended against it quite nicely. But stacking up sentries right now without a robo, I'm really curious to see if this is going to be just a straight-up gateway all-in. I mean, he's on... Whoa, what's with the Cybercore? Extra Frosty? What the fuck? I guess this is perhaps a team color mod. Is you kind of like when you see gray spires? That's weird. But anyways, yeah, so he's come across the map with a gateway all, and for now 3 more gateways is definitely going to make this a little more saucy. That'll put him up to, what is this, 7? I want to say 6? We'll find out here in a sec. I don't want to do math. Screw this. Ling's string on top of the pylon. Actually, the force fields go down, not wasted to keep us alive. Ling's still not finished up, but he is making a ton of Lings right now, and we actually saw True hold off a pretty nice all-in earlier today in a fairly similar fashion. Or no. It was YongHwa Impact, sorry. I take that back, not true at all. And it wasn't true either. Ha! But anyway, 7 gates worth of an attack here. +1 weapons is finished. This is a lot of damage coming his way. And True, if he doesn't have enough Zerglings, we'll lose this game. I like that he's coming from behind to go for the pylon. This pylon is the lifeblood of the reinforcements. So as the first one falls, there's only 1 more left. And YongHwa's not going to want to abandon this too soon. I like keeping the Lings in the back precisely for this. This keeps YongHwa from being able to... It kind of tethers him to the pylon more or less. He can never fully commit away from it. But Spine Crawlers, a lot of them perhaps won't be finished for this fight. Tries to dive in, gets on top of this. Force field's being baited out. Sentries, though, nicely tucked in here. And, well, with this many queens, you'd think there'd be a little more focus fire on top of the sentries, but decides to disengage, and that's not a bad choice either. Trying to kill the Mothership Core as well. There's 2 time warps in this thing, plus a big recall. +1 weapons and armor has begun. If you can buy enough time for that to come out, these Lings will be fantastic, but he's really got to cut out that pylon. Like, that pylon is the #1 source of, like, problems here. Because if there's no more reinforcements, it's going to force YongHwa to eventually recall, but True can't quite dive past this army and go for it. And as we see, YongHwa is somewhat tethered to this, more or less. He doesn't want to go too far away from it. He's never trying to fully abandon it, because I think he knows the problems that could come. With so many transfuses available, these Lings have got to get some connections in the back, but there's still so many force fields available. Guardian Shell's going to help a little bit, but oh, the pylon's been abandoned. This might just save him. We'll see. The army supply, though, for YongHwa is out of control, and it's mostly just Lings. More Spine Crawlers completing, more Spine Crawlers coming down. The queens have dissipated, the transfuses aren't here. True's got so much money in the bank, he's got to start making queens again too. Use all of those minerals. Do not lose this game right here, because for YongHwa, this is all in. He's lost the Mothership Core. There is no more recall. All these sentries, if he can break this, will die, but that's a big if. Maybe pull the drones into the fight. Queens come from the back end. Spine Crawlers rooting down here because they can't get up to the main. The creep spread simply not there. And for True, this is looking worse and worse. There might not be a lot of force fields available, but he uses the buildings, he uses the surface area, the minerals. He takes a great engagement as YongHwa. And as the Spine Crawlers try to move forward, the Queens die, and the last bit of this game is falling to bits. He's trying to get pathaging lands. Blink would have been shut down really well. Force fields would have been shut down really well.